We're back with another Porta Potty review. Today we're reviewing the Maxim 3000. Inside of it we have a sink installed plus their flat flushing kit. You want to stick around because this thing is a beast. The Maxim 3000 measures in at 90 inches tall, 44 inches wide, and 48 inches deep. This unit is double walled, so just like it sounds, on each of the surrounding walls it has 2 wall panels instead of just one like the Toughway or the Axis. That makes this unit a lot sturdier and it's meant to hold up a lot better over time. But this all comes in at a price. The Maxim weighs in at about just over 190 pounds, which is almost 30 pounds heavier than any other single walled unit on the market. Now, I don't work with this unit every day, but trust me when I say that you can feel the difference when you're loading and unloading this toilet. It feels a lot heavier when you're loading it, especially when it's full of liquid. So if you can, I'd recommend always working with this toilet empty, because a normal unit full of water is gonna weigh just about the same as this unit does when it's empty. So if you keep it empty, it's gonna make it a lot easier on yourself. So all the walls are nice and smooth, which is gonna make it easy to clean. On the front, there aren't really any indicators for where you should place your logo. So you just wanna kind of find a spot, a couple inches below this fold maybe, and just keep it as center as possible. And then the side panels, same thing, nothing wrong about them, but nothing really stands out either. Put your logo somewhere in the center, and then the vent screens are molded in, which has become pretty standard on all the toilets nowadays. And all the panels are gonna be pretty much the same, and they're all double walled, so you can feel how sturdy it is. Now really quickly, let's take a look at the ceiling and the floor. Just tilt it back. It is full, so I don't want it to spill. So I don't know if it's exactly true, but the base looks pretty similar to the Axis unit. It's got holes for stakes on all 4 corners. It's meant to slide pretty well on any kind of surface, so you can move it around. And then let's take a look at the roof. So if you look here, the roof has got kind of a cross for straps on all 4 sides. Got a couple of grab handles right here, so you can move it around pretty nice. And the straps are just meant to fall into these channels, so you can strap it down nice and secure. And since it's a double walled unit, it's not gonna crumble kind of like an Axis or a Toughway might when you strap it down really tightly from the top. All right, now that we've made it all the way around, let's take a look at the door. So the first thing I want to point out is the springs in this door. These are marketed as vandal-proof springs. So we got one up here at the top, one here at the bottom, and then as you open the door, it's gonna build tension in these springs, and then it's gonna snap back shut. So this is an interesting design because most units have an interior spring inside of the door, maybe 1 or 2, and usually that is gonna be what closes the door. And these springs are supposed to prevent any sagging in your door over time, but I'd be interested to see how long these last compared to a normal spring and how easy it is to replace them. Because a normal traditional spring door is pretty easy to repair, but I'm not sure how easy this is to repair, so I've never done it before. And now let's get to the inside of the unit. So in this particular unit, I have the satellite flat flush kit installed and an interior sink. So the reason why I have some Maxim units is because they all have the flushing kit installed on the inside. So that way I know if I have an Axis unit, it's gonna be a basic standard one, but if it's a Maxim, then I know that there's gonna be a flush kit on the inside. That's kind of how I differentiate the units. So these are mostly rented for events for people that wanna elevate it a little bit. So you can see here, we have the flush kit installed with the hand lever. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull this lever, and then water is gonna flush through. In the unit like that. And it's also available as a foot pump, so you could use your foot and it's gonna give the same kind of flushing action. As you can see, so you're supposed to do your business, flush it, and then everything's supposed to go down with it. And I've heard you're supposed to flush before and after the use, so then you kind of wet the toilet bowl, you use it, you flush it, and then everything's supposed to go down. Honestly, I don't know how well it works. It seems like the flush isn't that strong, so if you got somebody that ate some bad burritos, it might not flush down, but from the most part, I've heard good feedback about it. This flushing kit is installed beneath the toilet seat, and then you can lift it up here. So this weight right here is gonna be what keeps the flushing shut until there's enough water that the flap will fall down. And then this is a recirculating flush system. So you can see there's the tube that runs into the tank, and then there's a little filter bag on the end of it. So it uses the water that's in the tank in order to flush the toilet. I usually recommend putting at least 1.5 buckets of water in there, so you make sure you have enough water to get a good flush. So it's not a perfect system, but the kit's available for about $200, so it's a nice add-on if you want to offer that to your customers. And then here in the corner, we also have an interior sink. So this is marketed as our deluxe flushing toilet with an interior sink. So here we have mounted in the corner, it's a sink that you can open it up like this. And then you fill it up with water. The hose drains directly into the tank. And then it operates off a foot pump here. And then you can wash your hands in the corner. Nice flushing toilet with a sink on the inside. Now the seat itself is a little bit angled the way that it's mounted onto the tank. And I've heard feedback from customers that this is a very comfortable and spacious toilet when you're using it. So we're gonna do a test on our own. We're gonna sit down, gotta do that like we're taking a dump test. And I do have to say, I have a lot of space. Let's lean forward, right? If I'm leaning forward, I still have plenty of space before my head actually hits the wall. Let's take a look. So if I'm sitting here, I can't even touch the door in front of me. So it does feel really spacious. Here we got our lock, circular, nice and easy to use. Got our nice hover handle here. I learned in my last review that the hover handle is for when you want to take a dump. You're leaning over, but you don't quite want to sit on the toilet. But that shouldn't be a problem in our units because we do include toilet seat covers with every rental. We've got that holder here mounted on the side. We've also got our toilet paper holder right here. So this is the style that comes in the Freedom Handicap units. I'm personally not a huge fan of it. I like circular toilet paper holders better. And this one also does seem like it's a little bit close to the sink. If you see here, there's not a lot of space here. So I personally would have liked to see it kind of like mounted up here with more space in between. And then take a look at this shape. I do not like these. I like the circular ones better. Kind of just gotta shove this through your toilet paper in order to get it in there. And then a couple aftermarket things that we add. Our soap dispenser up here in the corner. And then we got our paper towel dispenser on this side. The reason why I like to add my own aftermarket is because some of the other ones that you can get, they don't show you the level of the soap or the paper towels from the outside. So if you look here, if I look at this soap dispenser, I can see the level of the soap. It's full. I don't have to open it, check and see if there's soap, and then go through that hassle. It's also not a bag refill, so this is a bulk refill soap dispenser. I can just open it, pop the top off, fill up a little bit of soap, and we're good to go. Same thing with the paper towel dispenser. I can see the level of the paper towels from the outside. So I don't have to waste my time opening it, seeing if I have to refill it or not. And then here in the corner, we have our urinal. It's a little bit small and funky shaped. It's a little bit different for cleaning. You know that people have bad aim when they're going to the bathroom, so I like a little bit bigger of a urinal. You're definitely gonna get some people missing, but I have heard people that like that the urinal is in the corner and it's away from where you're sitting, and I get that. We've got it nice and tucked away here in the corner, and then the drain pipe goes from the urinal down into the tank. I definitely could see how this could get clogged, but you know, just make sure to pump it out so that it doesn't get clogged. And yeah, that's a summary for everything on the inside. After a tour of the unit, let's talk about our thoughts about the Maxim 3000. It's a very nice, sleek looking unit and comes in a lot of different colors. It's also built to be very sturdy and last you for the long haul. That being said, I would not choose this as my daily driver for portable toilet model. I only have 6 of these toilets in my inventory, and honestly, I can tell a difference when I'm delivering these. I couldn't even imagine delivering over 100 of them for an event. It feels like I'm expending so much more energy unloading them and moving them around, and they're not as easy to work with. I much prefer using single-walled toilets because of how much easier it is to work with them. But I'm sure that this unit is gonna last a lot longer than a single-walled toilet because it is built to be so sturdy. You do pay for that extra sturdiness. These units are about $200 more per toilet than a single-walled Axis or Toughway toilet. So, taking that into consideration, for every 4 Maxim toilets I bought, I could get another Axis toilet that could be out there making money for me in the long run. And if you have a Maxim 3000, I don't really think that the customer will be willing to pay that much more for it if it's just a standard basic unit. I have the flush kit and the sink on the inside, so we can upcharge for both of those 2 things. But I don't think that they're gonna pay more just because you have the Maxim versus an Axis or a Tough White. And to me, it seems like this unit might be a little bit harder to repair if someone was to pierce a wall or a part was to break on the inside, since there's 2 walls per side to repair instead of just 1. But overall, it's a beautiful toilet. There's no denying that. But I think at the end of the day, I prefer something lighter, easier to work with, plus saving a couple $100s per toilet, so I can end up buying more toilets in the long run. And for the flushing system, we all saw it doesn't work perfectly, but it is a good option to have in a couple of your units if you want to add that option in order to upcharge for certain events. Thank you for watching today's review of the Maxim 3000 Satellites Cabana, as they like to call it. We're gonna go put this bad boy back into storage because honestly, he doesn't run out too often. If you wanna see how this unit compares to the J&J Echo 1, check out that video right here. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.